And here now is former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations, Dan Gillerman. And Dan, that is the big question here. Is that support for Bibi Netanyahu enough to get him another victory as prime minister?
Well, certainly the very good relationship, even personal relationship between the prime minister and President Trump is a great asset to Netanyahu and indeed a great asset for Israel. However, Israeli-American history shows that whoever the leader of Israel is, the very special relationship built on values and history and common interests prevails. So indeed, I think the Prime Minister has enjoyed the support of the President's recognition of Israel, of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, moving the American embassy to Jerusalem, now recognizing our sovereignty over the Golan Heights, revoking the nuclear treaty with Iran. These are all big achievements by the Prime Minister, and I'm sure they will give him, if not an advantage, at least very, very strong points in the elections.
Despite the corruption, despite those corruption allegations, which our reporter just mentioned out of Jerusalem, I do want you to listen, though. There's something that happened here in this country over the weekend that has a lot of Jewish Americans and, frankly, a lot of Americans somewhat offended. I want you to listen to Beto O'Rourke. He is running for the Democratic nod for the presidential nomination here in this country. Listen to what he said about Bibi Netanyahu.
The U.S.-Israel relationship is one of the most important relationships that we have on the planet. And that relationship, if it is to be successful, must transcend partisanship in the United States, and it must be able to transcend a prime minister who is racist, as he warns about Arabs coming to the polls.
What is your reaction to him calling Bibi Netanyahu racist?
I don't think Prime Minister Netanyahu is a racist. He, I think, has been very vocal on human rights and both on gender and on many other issues. He met only yesterday with a big delegation of the LGBT community in Israel. Israel is a very, very liberal and democratic society. Tel Aviv is probably one of the friendliest LGBT cities in the world. And Israel is indeed a free society. The Prime Minister has been accused of many things. Being racist is certainly not one of them.
What do you think this means if Bibi Netanyahu wins again, wins another term? What do you think this means for his legacy? And what do you think it could mean for Israel? Because he would surpass, in his leadership role, David Ben-Gurion, the founding father of Israel, a founding father of Israel. I mean, that would be an incredible, I think, moment for Bibi Netanyahu. What do you think that would mean going forward? Because the election is, as we know, tomorrow.
Well, if Bibi Netanyahu wins the election, and, you know, just winning the election is not enough, because unfortunately, unlike you, we don't have a two-party system. We have, I don't know whether you'll believe this, 47 different parties trying to get into the Israeli parliament. Out of which probably 15 or 16 may very well get in. Bibi Netanyahu, if he's very successful, may get a quarter of the votes. He would then have to form a coalition, mainly with splinter small parties, which will blackmail him and really make demands which I'm not even sure he'll be able to meet. But if he does form a coalition, I think and I hope that because of the point you made, because he's been prime minister for about 13 years, basically it's his bar mitzvah prime ministership, he should, and I hope he will, think of the future, think of making a legacy, think of making history, rather than just surviving in office. But, you know, there's also a chance that General Gantz will win the elections, and we'll have to wait and see how this drama unfolds. I don't think we'll even know tomorrow. It will be many weeks before Netanyahu manages to form a coalition.
Yeah, well, actually, I have read some of the coverage, Ambassador, that he's seen to have a good chance to form a government. So we shall see. So much to watch. Thank you, Ambassador Gillerman, for being here.